What is up, ladies and gentlemen? It is Cjthecheesedj here, and we're back with another top 6 video. And today we are focusing on, you guessed it, come on, it's pretty obvious, top 6 aberration creatures. Now this list here is, we've managed to play around with most, I think all of the tames that you can get in Aberration, and we've compiled this list based on our opinion, and so this is our opinion, guys, don't hate me too much for it. So we're going off, you know, their utility, just everything they're kind of good at and all that sort of stuff. Alright, so kicking off the list at number 1 is none other than the Shinehorn on our shoulder. Little Mr. Goaty McGoat. So this little dude here is obviously one of the 4 shoulder mounted dinos you can tame to help repel the Nameless, and by far through all my testing I have found that the Shinehorns are actually the best ones that you can get. They actually give the most charge and they're really good. They've got the most stored charge. Their radius is a little bit lower than the Glowtails, but it's still really good, and they've got really decent stats. Now, as well as this, I don't know if the other ones do it, but the Glowtail actually, not the Glowtail, sorry, the Shinehorn actually attacks while on your shoulder, which makes it pretty useful for like brawls that you get into. Granted, you don't need to worry about them too much. We're gonna come over here to these guys. Now, our Glowhorn should, Shinehorn should attack. If we did manage to pull it off last time. I don't know how, but he did attack enemies. I don't understand how he did it, but he did attack them, and he was on our shoulder. I can guarantee you, I vouch for it. So yeah, this little dude's pretty amazing. He's got, like I said, really good charge mission range, really good charge. He's got easily the most out of all the tames. Look at him, he's just freaking adorable. I think he's the most adorable out of all of them, and I'm a huge sucker for reptiles. So I think the Shinehorn is hands down the cutest one out of the 4. The Bulb Dog looks kind of derpy. The Featherflight is pretty cool looking as well. That's probably one of my favorites as well. But I think the Shinehorn definitely outshines them. But see what I did there? Huh? That wasn't cringy whatsoever. So yeah, number 1 on the list is the Shinehorn. Alrighty, so number 2 on the list is the Karkinos, the gigantic crab. There's no surprise here that this guy would be on this list. He's pretty amazing. I really am a fan of him. He's got this huge jump attack which you can use there to pretty much scale the depths of Aberration, because these guys are found pretty much around any waterway you can think of. But they're really useful. Now, if you didn't know already, they actually have the ability to pick up enemies or dinos with their claws. Is that a dino over there? Yeah, so we'll come over here and we can show you. So yeah, they actually have the ability to use each claw individually as well. So obviously your secondary and primary attacks affect that. But you can see here, we're able to pick up Titanoboas. I'm pretty sure the biggest thing we've ever picked up are Stegos. So I would say from Stegos below, I don't think we've picked anything up bigger than a Stego. So from Stegos below is what this guy's capable of picking up from me. And then the best part is you can actually throw them. You can lob them across the map. Look at that Titanoboa. He's taking flying lessons and he's out of here. So the Karkinos is a really good tame. The only downside of them is that they are incredibly annoying to try and tame. You have to use catapults, and it's just mayhem. It's really annoying to try and tame. But they've got really good uses for that. So you can pretty much hold the dinos and they won't attack you. You can see here we're not taking any damage from these guys. We'll just toggle the HUD there so you guys can actually see. We're not taking any damage. Now the best part is you can actually attack them as well while they're in your hand, which makes it really useful for PvP. So if you get attacked by enemy dinos, you can always just pull your Karkinos out, pick them up, lob them across the map, or you can just pummel them to death. Now this guy also has really good stats. He's got a really solid amount of HP and a really good amount of melee damage as well. The only downside to him is that he's incredibly slow. That's the only downside, but he does have, like I said, a jump maneuver where he can pretty much lob himself like into the air. Like, it's pretty impressive how high this guy's able to jump considering how big he is. So coming in at number 3 is the Aberrant Megalosaurus. Now this guy is pretty impressive by my standards because I think he really shines in Aberration. Due to the fact that he's pretty much always nighttime down here in the mushroom forests and like just above the ground there, this guy really is useful because it considers nighttime for him, which means he gets a huge buff to everything. So he maintains all his abilities that he gets during the nighttime in Aberration all the time, which is incredibly useful for PvP and just dealing with all the Ravagers that you face down in this little terrainy bit. So he's really useful tame. I can't tell you how good he is at nighttime, how powerful he is. This guy's easily stronger than a Rex when it comes to base damage when you're facing other dinos. He's got a solid amount of health, really decent amount of health, really decent stamina, okay weight, and he's got a pretty good movement speed. He's easily able to tackle Karkinoses, the Ravagers, Roll Rats, you know, even the Nameless I would say he could easily challenge. So I would definitely get yourself a Megalosaurus because these guys are nuts, and you know, they've got the added ability of being able to pick up dinos, eat them in their mouth at the same time while running, which makes it really useful for this guy. And look at that, the first Titan Ebola egg we've ever found. So I would definitely recommend getting yourselves one of these Megalosauruses. You see here, we'll come up to this Karkinos. I'm really hoping it's not a crazy high level. We'll easily be able to take, you can see there, 299 damage is the damage that we are dealing. We just absolutely wrecked the face of the gigantic crab. These guys have nothing on T-Rexes. T-Rexes have nothing on them. These guys are so powerful. You can see here, we're absolutely shredding all the dinos that come up to us. Now, like I said, you can pick up dinos. You do a limited amount of damage to them. You can see there, we were doing 224 to the dinos. We are now doing only 80 because they're in our mouth and they can't attack us. Yeah, easily one of the best dinos to come out of the aberrant dinos that are now on the map. So like, you know how they're all aberrant, easily the Megalosaurus. So number 4 on the list is, you guessed it, the Ravager. This guy was definitely going to be making an appearance on this list today. And this guy is pretty much the pack hunters of Aberration. You know, you've got your direwolves in the snow, you've got your raptors in the grasslands. These guys are your hunters everywhere, like they are everywhere. Now, these guys get a huge boost from being in a pack. They deal almost double the amount of damage that they originally do while being in a pack, and it's incredibly useful. Now, while being in a pack, they also get the Gnash ability, which they don't have while being individual, which kind of sucks. You can see here there's no blood splurting out of the Arthropleura, so it's kind of unfortunate that they don't get the Gnash ability while they're on their own. But these guys are incredible. They have the ability to climb up zip lines, which, you know, we can show you right now. And they also have the added ability, it's not really anything to be amazed by, but they actually can they can climb it upside down. So you can see here we've got this zip line in front of us, and what you can actually do is you can actually flip around and go upside down. Now, it's nothing really amazing, but it is a really cool, unique little tidbit for them to have on there. Now, as well as this, they can also climb the various vines located around Aberration. There's none really down here at the moment, but they can also climb those, and they're pretty speedy as well. Now, they've got a decent amount of health, a decent amount of stamina, and a decent amount of melee damage on themselves. Once they get in a pack though, they can fly. They are ridiculously powerful. Now, another added unique benefit that these guys have is that they actually reduce the amount of resources in your inventory. So the weight of various resources are actually reduced. We're going to quickly demonstrate here and show you. Let me just grab this pick out of this little dude's inventory. There we go. We've got the pick there. All right, so if we come up to this rock here, you'll see that he actually reduces the amount of weight of metal and stone. So it weighs 15 on us. We put it in his inventory, and look at that, it weighs half. They reduce it by 50%, which is incredible. Now, this applies to stone, wood, metal, unrefined metal, of course, but these guys can easily be used as pack mules to transport metal, transport any goods you need across to other bases that you may have in Aberration. And as well as that, they can climb up the zip lines that you build for them, which makes them incredibly, really useful. I can't get over how useful these guys are. They're also not too difficult to tame. All you really need is to separate them from the rest of their pack, isolate an individual, bowler them, and then just train them out, which, you know, sounds really easy on paper, but it's a lot more difficult than you would think. So yeah, that's why these guys are number 4 on this list. Number 5 is none other than the beautiful Roll Rat. Now, this guy is really bulky and really powerful. Don't let his appearance deceive you. This guy is actually one of the more powerful. He's actually more powerful than the Ravager. So he's definitely on the powerful side of things. Now, the only downside of him is that he doesn't have quite as good weight and health as a Ravager does. So you've also got to take that into consideration and think about leveling him up. And you can see here, we're absolutely shredding this Megalosaurus. He had no chance on us. This guy deals 173 damage. This is obviously a max level Tame. So he is at the peak of his existence, but he hasn't got any levels in him yet. But you just saw there, he also has the unique ability to roll. That's right, he can roll like a little gerbil in a spinning wheel. So that also adds to the benefit of this guy. Now, he does deal damage to dinos while doing this, and he also shreds through the terrain. So if trees get in your way, he will knock them over. If rocks get in your way, he will go through them. You can see there, we're just absolutely going through all these rocks. He's really cool and one of the best dinos to come out of Aberration. Now, Now he also has the added ability of being able to harvest berry bushes. You can see these ones here in front of us. He's able to harvest them. Now his big use is the ability to harvest wood from trees. You can see how much wood we are getting from these guys. Look at that. That's the wrong inventory. Look at the amount of wood in this dude's inventory. It is nuts how much wood this guy can gather. He's pretty much the mammoth of Aberration, because one bite we're gathering like 400 wood. It's nuts. So if you ever need wood, make sure you tame yourself up a roll rat and bring along a couple of Ravagers to mitigate the weight, and you'll easily be able to carry a crap ton of wood to wherever you need to go. Especially with the added roll ability, you'll get there in no time at all. Pump these guys' movement speed up and they will fly. Now, another really unique thing that this guy has is that he has the ability to seat extra passengers. You can see here he's got 6 passenger seats available, and you can pretty much board all of them. Now, the good thing about this is that while you're rolling, your passengers also remain inside the little bubble, which is really cool. Now, the only downside of this guy that I have been able to find so far is his huge turning radius. This guy has a gigantic turning radius, which isn't always the best thing, especially when you're trying to escape stuff or trying to navigate Aberration. He kind of lacks on the turning radius, but other than that, there's not really much else that I can fault this guy on. He's a pretty beastie tame. He's got, like I said, a decent amount of health and a decent amount of stamina. His melee damage is ridiculous. He does deal more damage than Ravagers. However, in a pack, I'm not sure he does deal more damage than Ravagers. You can see here we're actually kind of stuck. But yeah, that's why this guy is number 5 on the list. And lucky number 6 on the list is the pile of dirt. You can see there's nothing really special about this pile of dirt. It's just kind of like a group of rocks that are bunched together. Well, you thought wrong. Number 6 is the queen herself, the Reaper Queen. Now, this one is not overly difficult to obtain. You just need to find a Reaper Queen and get impregnated by her. That's all there really is to it. Nothing too difficult or strange about it. So you can see here how ferocious she looks. This is absolutely one of the beastiest tames you can get on Aberration, if not the beastiest tame you can get. She is incredibly powerful. She's got a really large range of attacks. She's got a tail swipe. She can fling spines with her tail. She can bite. She's nuts. She fills the whole package. She's got everything. You can see there, we're just nuts. So her damage that she outputs is really high. And she's got a really good amount of health. You can see there, 10,000 health, 2,000 stamina. The thing that I find kind of funny is that she's absolutely gargantuan in size, yet her weight is smaller than that of a Ravager, which I just think is absolutely hilarious. You can see here we're hitting 308 per shot. She's actually able to take out the Manticore from Scorched Earth, so she's easily one of the, if not the strongest tame in the entirety of Ark. Like, there's no doubt about it that she's one of the strongest tames in Ark. The only downside to her is that obviously she takes damage to charge, so you can't bring your little glow horns and all that glowy stuff with you, which is kind of understandable. But you then can need to take on the Nameless with her. But oh, don't fret, she'll easily wipe out the Nameless with barely a sweat dripping on her brow. She's easily one of the strongest creatures, if not the strongest. I cannot tell you how strong she is. Like, it's ridiculous how strong she is. You can see there, we've got a little tail swipe that we can also do. I don't know where these Ravagers are attacking us from. But there's nothing really to fault about her. She's got a really good turning radius considering how big she is. Her melee damage is absolutely substantial. And we just found an Explorer note, sure. Her melee damage is absolutely substantial. You can see here, this little Chupacabra here, he wants to go at me. He wants to try and fight. Now, obviously the Nameless take reduced damage from everything, so we're only hitting 38. But Jesus Christ, like, she is absolutely a monster when it comes to dealing damage and just dealing with the various Aberration creatures that will blight you. So I would definitely recommend getting yourself a Reaper Queen. And look at that knockback she does on the Nameless. It's ridiculous. So I would definitely get yourself one of the Reaper Queens. Now, that'll conclude this list. You're probably wondering why the Basilisk or the Rock Drake aren't on the list. I just find that they don't bring enough to the new expansion to actually, you know, complement being on the list. The Rock Drake, to be honest with you, I found him a little bit lackluster. He has the ability to bite, glide, and, you know, that's kind of it. He doesn't really have anything else going for himself. And climb up the walls, which, you know, is useful obviously in Aberration, but I feel like he's a bit lackluster. The Basilisk is easily one of the stronger creatures in Ark as well. However, I just didn't think it was worth putting on the list considering how not difficult it is to tame, but how much of a pain in the butt it is to tame. But yeah, that'll conclude this list, guys, while we're obviously getting targeted by the Nameless because we chucked off our Shinehorn to not damage the Reaper Queen. But yeah, let me know what you thought of it down below. Let me know if you'd make any changes. But other than that, guys, thanks very much for watching, and hopefully I'll catch you in the next one.